This is Lesson 26 commentary on Lesson 26 in Workbook for A Course in Miracles. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. To help understand this lesson, it might be useful to review what we covered in class when we took a look at Chapter 2, the origins of the separation. And reviewing this is a part of the function of, or its purpose is to get the course's idea of what our original problem was, and that we use the power of our minds, which in its natural use is extension. We're just extending our being of love. We use that with projection to change what God created perfectly. So the separation is seen as this attack on self that was we changed. Like, first, you believe that what God created can be changed by your own mind. Second, you believe that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect or lacking. And in the terms of this lesson we're doing, the imperfection or lack can be seen as vulnerability. Okay, so we use the power of our mind to change that. And then third, you believe you can distort the creations of God, including yourself, and you believe you can create yourself, and the direction of your own creation is up to you. So that's this basic notion of attack thoughts that is really the problem, was the original problem, and one we seem to be doing. And that's what the lesson is dealing with, is how we're doing this now in our lives, which is making us seem vulnerable, imperfect, that we lack love. So that's why when we go through this lesson, let me just go down here where it's talking about the thoughts that we should be looking at is outcomes that are causing you concern, and that they may take the form of depression, worry, anger, sense of imposition, fear, foreboding, or preoccupation. So those, from the ego standpoint, just seems, well, that's just natural, and those are the feelings we have. But what the course is saying is those are attack thoughts, because they're attacking our essential perfection. So that's key to get at here, that the attack is this just repetition of what seemed to be the separation. So he just makes the obvious point that if you can be attacked, you're not invulnerable, and that we see it as a threat, and we see as a threat coming, an attack at us from the world, the circumstances, what's happening to us, the situations, is because we believe we can attack. And here it said, and what would have effects through you must have effects on you because of projection, which he covers here. And that this, we're going to learn, when we uncover projection, we're going to learn that that's ultimately what we can use to save us, because we'll be projecting the thoughts of the Holy Spirit instead of these egoic thoughts. So that's what he means here. This law will ultimately save you, but we're misusing it now. So we have to learn how to use it so it's for our own best interest, because with yesterday's lesson, everything is for our own best interest. Okay, so going on the next paragraph, because your attack thoughts will be projected, because of the painfulness of it, the fear, you'll fear attack. And if you fear attack, you must believe that you're not invulnerable. Attack thoughts therefore make you vulnerable in your own mind, and that's where your attack thoughts are. Attack thoughts and invulnerability cannot be accepted together. They contradict each other. Another section from the text might help us understand why this invulnerability is important. And this is in the text, chapter 14, section 3, paragraph 7. Is that the joy of the paragraph before that is the joy of learning that darkness has no power over the Son of God is the happy lesson the Holy Spirit teaches and would have you teach with him. That's another way of saying that the atonement is the denial of the denial. Our attack thoughts was a denial of what we truly are, and And the atonement is denying that. And it's denying that anything has power over us. So we're invulnerable. So the way to teach the simple lesson, he goes on to say, is guiltlessness is invulnerability. And therefore make your invulnerability manifest to everyone. Teach him that whatever he may try to do to you, your perfect freedom from the belief that you can be harmed shows him that he is guiltless. So it's obvious this connection between invulnerability and guiltlessness and the connection to forgiveness of ourselves and forgiveness of another. It's a sense of invulnerability that releases us from this guilt of attack, right? Because if I'm invulnerable, what I'm demonstrating is nothing has hurt me. No matter what attack thoughts I may have in my mind, I'm unaffected by it, or whatever attacks seem to be coming from the world, I'm unaffected by that. My invulnerability is guiltlessness. Our invulnerability is our innocence. It's the metaphor of the lion and the lamb shall lay down together. It's this metaphor that innocence is strength. That's the key here. All right, so going back to the lesson, because your attack thoughts will be projected, you will fear attack. And if you fear attack, you must believe that you're not invulnerable. Attack thoughts, therefore, make you vulnerable in your own mind, which is where the attack thoughts are. Attack thoughts and invulnerability cannot be accepted together. They're the opposite, right? That's just an obvious point. They contradict each other. All right, so then it goes on to say, and it goes on to relate this back to this, what this attack thoughts and this vulnerability are saying about who we are. Okay, so the idea for today introduces the thought that you always attack yourself first, right? He's dealing with the fact that we projected them out, and the attack seems to be coming at us. The adverse circumstances we perceive, as attacking us. So, but he's saying where we have control over is our own mind. So it introduces the thought that you always attack yourself first. If attack thoughts must entail the belief that you're vulnerable, their effect is to weaken you in your own eyes. Thus, they've attacked your perception of yourself. And because you believe in them, you no longer believe in yourself. A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are. So this is key. It's like at the bottom of all perception, whatever that perception is, it starts with the premise about who we are. And being vulnerable presents a false image of us. So, and we can't believe in ourselves. And that's why lessons like this are important, is that when we learn not to project the thoughts out, when we learn the thoughts are in our minds, and then we don't have to let that define us, then we believe in ourselves. We believe in our own power. We believe in our own invulnerability. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. So practice with today's idea will help you understand that vulnerability and invulnerability is a result of your own thoughts. Now, notice the parallel construction here in this paragraph, and that's done for emphasis. So practice with today's ideas will help you to understand that vulnerability or invulnerability is a result of your own thoughts. And the parallel construction is all these sentences begin with nothing. I mean, this one says and, but it's really not so. And this is key. Nothing except your thoughts can attack you. Nothing except your thoughts can make you think you're vulnerable. And nothing except your thoughts can prove to you that this is not so. So we're withdrawing the projections out into the world, right? That's what we're working with our thoughts. We're not dealing with directly in the lesson with the situations or what's going on. We're dealing with our thoughts, because that's what we can use to change how we see ourselves. Okay, so the practice instructions are, we're increasing those. It's 2 full minutes, attempted for each one. If it's uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable to take a look that this is really coming from the inside of me. It's just uncomfortable to look at the pain. If it's too great, just do it for a minute. That's okay. So the practice period should begin with repeating the idea for a day, then closing your eyes and reviewing the unresolved questions whose outcomes are causing you concern. So we're looking at those situations in our life, and the concern may take the form of depression, worry, anger, a sense of imposition, fear, foreboding, or preoccupation, right? So these are the false thoughts that we're having inside of us because they're a false notion of who we are. We're this original being of love. So depression, which means loss, worry, anger, sense, all of those things are presenting a false image of ourselves. So any problem is yet unsettled that tends to reoccur in your thoughts during the day is a suitable subject. Probably have no problem finding it. So the notion is you will not. He goes. You will not be able to use very many for any one practice period because you're spending a longer time with them. So probably a couple situations, maybe three. They shouldn't be hard to find. So there's real important steps to follow specifically here. So first, I'm concerned about. I used money today. I'm concerned about money and the lack of money. Will I have enough money? Then go every possible outcome that has occurred to you in connection, which has caused you concern. I'm afraid I'll be homeless. I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of myself. I won't be able to be independent. All of those things. So if you're doing the exercises properly, you should have some 5 or 6 distressing possibilities available for each situation and maybe more. It's much more helpful to cover a few situations thoroughly than to touch a larger number, right? Okay, so that's key. So we're really focusing in on a few situations. As the list of anticipated outcomes for each situation occurs, you'll probably find some of them, especially those that occur towards the end, less acceptable to you. But, we treat them all the same. Either you're upset or you're not. There's no real degree in upsets. So after you've named each outcome in which you are afraid, tell yourself that thought is an attack upon myself, and then we conclude each practice period. We repeat the thought for the day. Okay, that's it.